go anywhere. Hi, big up. This is Get Amped, the fan call-in show. And what an interesting weekend of football. Very interesting weekend of football. Why have I got my... Get out of here. But yeah, let me just quickly go through the results very quickly. We've already got someone in the back ready. And so I'm going to drop the link in a minute. So we had Everton 0, Liverpool 0, Brentford 5, Leeds 2, Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. Very controversial decision, by the way, in that game. Newcastle 0, Palace 0. I'll take that because we didn't deserve anything from that game. Another controversial decision. Forest 2, Bournemouth 3. They've picked up 4 points since this at Scott Parker. So, boy. Tottenham 2, Fulham 1, Wolves 1, Southampton 0, Villa 1, City 1. They had a goal the ref blew too early, to be fair. And the Man City players did stop, so I guess that kind of balanced that one out. And then today, Brighton 5, Leicester 2. Brighton are doing a madness. To be fair, I've always rated Potter, and I can't wait till he leaves that club. He's doing bits. And then obviously the big one today, Manchester United 3, Arsenal 1. And you know what? No better way for these two to kick it off, actually, to be fair. Big up my brother Chino. How you doing?
Hey, big up Rich. Big up July, man. Let's go. Let's go.
You know what? To be fair, you were both on the watch along today together from the Tweets Talks and Pros Only Sports watch along. Is our brother Tariq. What are you saying, my guy?
I'm all good, man. I'm feeling a little bit better now. The hurt is going, but I'm sure it'll probably come back now. Now that I'm in the presence of United.
Right. Now, this is the only bit I'm going to say, then I'm going to leave you to chat about the game. Now, Tariq, you were adamant that your goal should have stood. You were adamant. Do you still feel that way?
I still feel that way, and probably because a lot more now, with looking back at it, it's more in terms of the fact that, VAR, once again, which we've seen this weekend, has been the butt of the controversy. It's not a clear and obvious error for me. The referee's seen it in real time. Even when he checks it on VAR, he spends about 2 minutes or so. If it's a clear and obvious error, he surely once seen it. He shouldn't have to watch it about another minute or so. But yeah, man, it is what it is. There's in terms of that, of course, that changed the game. If you're going to win away from home in any Premier League game, you're going to need to have an element of luck. And that's the luck that we would have needed to have go on our side if we was going to, grab the 3 points in this one.
So let me ask you this now, Tariq. If that was the other way around, would you want the foul?
But this is the thing, though. Like, as fans, you're going to say that. I would say we were fortunate to get away with that. Like I have said in other games as well with Arsenal. Like, I don't like referees in VAR overall making stupid decisions for disallowed things. Like, I saw Tyrant Mitchell push Joe Willock in the back and no foul was given for that. Like, this is where the inconsistency with referees is just beyond ridiculous in the Premier League. Beyond ridiculous. I saw Lisandro Martinez push Danny Welbeck in the back and no foul was given for that as well. Guys, I'm just trying to level in terms of consistency of the referees. It's poor. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Obviously, Cappy did his what do you call it? Watch along earlier on. What was your emotions throughout this? Hamza or rest? I'm just typing something in the private chat for you to read.
Obviously, big up Rich, big up T, Chino, Hanif, everyone in the chat. Obviously, very happy with the result in the end of the day, man. Straight after the game, you have to be gassed to a certain extent because of the raw emotions coming out. The way I see it is, look, Arsenal played some good football over the game. And Eric Ten Hag actually said something really interesting in the press conference. He said, you could tell that Arsenal have been together for longer and they've worked on their game and they understand the system a lot more than we do at this current point of time, which is what he was alluding to. But we took advantage of Arsenal's mistakes. We, in moments where Arsenal needed to defend for their lives, they needed to be switched on. That wasn't the case at Old Trafford. And we took full advantage of those counter-attacking opportunities, and we were ruthless in front of goal, whether it be Marcus Rashford and, of course, Anthony scoring on his debut, which I'm very happy about because that will take, a lot of pressure off of his back going forward. But yeah, in the end of the day, it was a good result. I think, you can look at it both ways. Arsenal fans will say we played the better football, we were a better team. But also Manchester United fans can also say, but we scored more goals. We took advantage of our chances, because in the end of the day, it's the team who scores the most goals who wins in a football match. And Arsenal may have had a better start to the season, and I'm sure they will go on and will bounce back from it. But today, Manchester United were the team who took advantage of their opportunities. So it was a very good game. You can't fault that. Both teams, they brought different elements to the game. Arsenal, we saw, in my opinion, really good football from Arsenal. And, even though they'll be disappointed for tonight, if I was an Arsenal fan, I would take a lot of encouragement going forward from the way that they played at Old Trafford and the way they were able to control the game for the majority. They just need to be able to be switched on up here, but also create and finish chances on the other end as well.
Oats. Now, you know what? Oats, can you hear me, by the way?
Man.
Because you know what? To be fair, everyone's been calling out Oats, saying he only comes on when Arsenal are winning. And he showed up.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you're definitely on glitch mode. Force the game,
like Zinchenko, man.
I'm a newbie to all this. What's up?
Force of the game.
The dating today, man.
Oh, is that Manny?
Hear me, Rich?
Just about. Is that Manny? No, I can't hear him.
Yeah, nah, it's not gonna work, man.
It's a bit peak.
It's not gonna work.
Hold on. Orton, the Wi-Fi is mad.
Evening, gents. You all right?
Yeah, good.
Bless and Eve.
Yeah, I think he's realised. Did you watch today's game? I know obviously you
did. I did. Yes, I watched the second half. I had to rush back from a funeral, but then I got back for second half.
Condolences, my bro. Condolences.
Yeah, it's life, man. It's life. I've been to so many funerals this summer holiday. Is unbelievable. But God rest his soul.
Mm-hmm.
What was your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it was a very good game, very tasty. I think Arsenal lost it because they weren't clinical.
He played that.
I see him, man. I see him, Eddie. Yeah. Don't go anywhere.
Sorry, Eddie, go on.
Yeah, I think Arsenal lost the game because they weren't clinical. It's as simple as that. I thought Arsenal had clear-cut opportunities at the right time, and I'll be honest with you, if I was an Arsenal fan, I think that's probably the best way to lose. I know it's not easy to say and easy to take for Tariq, but let's be honest about it. If they were clinical, Arsenal should have easily won that game, in my opinion. And I think with Marcus Rashford scoring those goals, Mikel Arteta had played a high line. He took risks, and I would prefer my manager doing that away from home. And I think what'll happen is in the return, I think Arsenal beat Man United. It's always been like that for the past few years, where United beat Arsenal at Old Trafford and Arsenal seem to be United at the Emirates. But you've got to give United their credit. I thought Rashford, took his goals well, and I thought Eriksen played well. Martinez had a decent game. Dalot had, you know what? Bloody hell, I don't know what that guy's on, but
Actually,
whatever it is.
hold on. That's a good point. I need to holler at KG because I said to him once, if you want to play this style of football, you need to start Delo over Wan-Bissaka, and he sinned me. Actually, yeah, thank you. I need to keep those receipts. 100%.
So yeah, look, ultimately United got the result, but I think Arsenal, if they took their chances, they would have seen that game out. Look, it was a good game of football. United did what they needed to do, and I think Arsenal will bounce back. It's as simple as that.
Gino, go on. I know you're mad excited.
Nah, Anif just killed my mood, man. Chatting about this and that and blah blah blah. The end of the day, Arsenal got 0 points. We got 3. Yeah, it's a result business, man, and we don't have the facilities to play the type of football that Arsenal's playing right now. Obviously, we know that the manager, his system haven't been fully implemented yet in the squad. So it's going to take time. And yeah, I'm just happy we beat Arsenal, man. Sit Tariq done, man. Yeah, slappings.
I got to take it, man. I got to take it today.
No, but for real though, Arsenal did play good. Like they did play good. Oh, yeah, pause. Big pause. Yeah. Oh, what do you mean you gotta take it, brother? Pause. Yeah, their performance was good. Their performance was really good. They were a threat every time they were going forward, but a lot of that too have to do with Scott McTominay didn't have a horrible game, but we know what he is. He cannot control a game. Like he cannot keep the ball, get others involved. Like that's not his game. And obviously, if we're starting him in midfield, that's not the game plan. It's not to keep the ball and get others involved. It's just for the vibes and energy. And I like when he threw Gabriel. What's his name? Jesus, because it ain't Jesus. His man got thrown to the ground. But it was a good performance. It was a real good game. If you're a neutral, I'm pretty sure you enjoyed it. We got the result. We got the points, and I'm looking forward to the next one because it's slappings, and I'm not talking about Thursday. I'm not talking about Thursday. The next one is slappings.
Yo, give me yours now, bro.
I can hear you, big man.
First question I asked you was is that Manny as well, yeah?
Yeah. What up?
You're saying Manny.
What's going on, man? Cool. What are you saying?
Thoughts, talk to us.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, left. Yeah, I'm all right, you know. I'm feeling all right still. It could be, do you know what I mean? It could be worse. But congratulations to Man United on winning the league, you pussios. Get me? Little passing. But you know what, yeah? As an Arsenal fan, all we can ask for is a performance like that. Do you know what I mean? Because if you can lose. You can lose. There's no shame in losing, man. But we were naive, 100%. We didn't lose. We didn't deserve to lose the game, but we was naive, man. Like the only thing I could really say about our performance, I feel like, and maybe Tariq can agree with me, is I feel like Gabriel needs to hold bench.
Ooh,
I think Gabriel needs to hold bench. You know why? Because he's had that mistake in him for a couple of seasons. I'll be honest. He has lapses in concentrations, and he's just too emotional, man. He's too emotional.
I disagree, bro.
As a neutral, I can agree with you because I do not rate Gabriel. I don't know. I just don't rate him personally. But yeah,
no. He's a heavy defender. He's a heavy defender, but he's too emotional. So, like the first goal, he was to blame for the first goal because he stepped out. He stepped out of the back four, And first and foremost, he didn't get the ball. He made a rash challenge, and now he left a massive gap for them to play the through ball to Anthony. The previous week at Fulham, again, he gets caught on the ball. He's done that previously. He done that to Fulham on his debut. I know it's his debut, so I'll, granted, I'll give him that one. But he also done that last season at Wolves, where he done the silly back pass without looking to Ramsdale. So although he's a great defender, I love him, good defender, but he has these lapses in concentration. He always has these lapses in concentration.
Listen,
that cost
I overall, I thought his performance, I thought he was better than Saliba. I'm going to be real. Today, he was a better defender than William Saliba. And we have to remember, these guys are still, they're defenders. And I always give defenders a little bit more time in these things in terms of concentration because of their age that they're at. And then we see defenders enter their prime and peaks a little bit later. But defensively, he was much better today. In possession, his passing is definitely something he needs to work on. He's not as good as Saliba in that sense. And even Lisandro Martinez, this is a thing why I think Arteta wanted him into the side overall and why he went with Zinchenko is because we have a lot of passers in and around him. But he's the weak link in terms of moving the ball and progressing it forward. And even there was a couple of times where he took too long. For that goal, though, it's not Gabriel's fault. It's Martinelli's. This is a different Gabriel because Martinelli, if you watch it back, he's the closest man to Anthony when Bruno picks up that ball. Then Zinchenko has to come over and support Saliba because Rashford's 1v1 with him, which leaves Anthony there. And the reason why Gabriel Martinelli's at fault is because he's not marking anyone. And that's where I think where Zinchenko he struggled against Anthony in that first half because he was left 1v1 with him. If you watched almost every time on Martinelli's side with Dalot was getting there physically and tight with him, but then he also had the support of Anthony and the midfielders coming along, doubling up, which made it harder. I didn't think that Martinelli had his best game defensively today, and that's usually what he's very good at.
Yeah, just quickly, please smash.
Can I just start in terms of the foul, the initial foul?
Sorry, Hanif, 1 second.
Oh, sorry, mate.
So I was just saying, smash the like button, but don't misplace it because you might just hit dislike and stuff and Zoom peak and stuff. But yeah. Sorry, Hanif, go on.
Yeah, so obviously me officiating on semi-pro lines, we get to see a lot where players have their back to the opposition player and they use their arms to push to basically push the player over or make them lose balance. But the player that's got their back to the player should be stronger. I think we're getting to the stage where players are just going to keep falling over. Now, they've seen that now, so that's acceptable now. Everyone's seen that today and think, you know what, I'm going to fall over. I'll do the same thing. And if it's the same referee, he's going to give it. He has to give it. VAR has opened up this massive hole for themselves.
Hanif,
and
you do not have the facilities to blame VAR for nothing, brother. After that,
I'm not blaming VAR. I'm not blaming VAR.
Chino, we're going to get to that one as well.
Chino, I'll get to it. Don't you worry, big man. Don't you worry. I got you. I got you. And by the way, Chino, it was a foul, so behave yourself, big man. That's what the referee gave. Rich, behave yourself.
We'll get to that. We will get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But what I'm saying is, obviously, in semi-pro ball, you see it all the time, and those aren't fouls, man. I'm just saying that is now the precedent. That's the precedent's been set. Every time that happens, just fall over. You'll get a foul, especially with that official. That's all I'm saying.
And that's probably why I'm so adamant it's not a foul, because I would never have been given that on the other end if I'm playing. Even if you play Sunday League, you don't get them free kicks. I don't know, the game, it's kind of weird because the referees have kind of changed the narrative. Like when I watched the first game, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace, the referee was letting a lot of these challenges go for both sides. Isn't that right, Rich? Zaha was getting a few pushes in the back by Ben White, and the referee said, "Nah, play on, keep going." Like, there's just no consistency with it, though. That's the hard part.
Let me just say, the officiating in this country. Yeah, Wenger said it the best. Yeah, he said something like, "The World Cup, there's not one Englishman, or there's not one official from the Premier League in the World Cup. Like, they're all from different leagues, and it just speaks volumes." Yeah. Let me tell you something about the officiating and Arsenal in particular. against Aston Villa, yeah, for those who watched the game, the first half, you would have thought that Aston Villa were playing like rugby or they was doing kickboxing or something like that. It was mental. And there was no yellow card. Yeah? Nothing. First half. That guy, Kamara, in the center of the park, John McGinn, the challenges were rash. Nothing. Then Arsenal, their first challenge will be yellow card. And again today, Martinez, yeah, the first 2 minutes, yeah. I know it's 2 minutes into the game, but that's a yellow card. He's taken out Bukayo Saka. He's taken him out. Scott McTominay, oh my god, like literally, this guy like he's a wrestler. He should have like these little tassels around the arms and that, like, do you know what I mean? This guy is just grappling man, throwing him to the floor. Did you see what you got the yellow card for? What the hell is that? Like rolling around with man, like I don't understand it. But prior to that, loads and loads of fouls. Varane on Gabriel Jesus. It's a joke. Like what? I don't understand what the referee wants to see. Does he want like people to bang a next man in the face before he gets a yellow card? Like I don't understand. And then William Saliba's first foul immediately is the yellow card. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And then the VAR decision for me, to be honest, I'll be honest. I can see why it's interpreted as a foul. It wasn't a foul though. It was very, very soft, but I can see why it was interpreted as a foul. I can see why, but it wasn't a foul. It wasn't a foul because if you actually check it, Eriksen's actually kicked the ball. So it's
but that was after the contact. That was after the contact. To be fair.
But this is a contact sport.
Yeah, but come on.
All right. Let me give you another example.
If that was in the penalty area, would that be a penalty?
But CM, in the penalty area, Lisandro Martinez did the exact same thing to Danny Welbeck.
I'm not. Let me give you another example. When Eddie Nketiah came on, yeah, and the ball's in the air, and he chested it down past Maguire. Maguire ran into Eddie Nketiah and grabbed him.
Not a penalty. You see, this is what I'm saying.
You know what? Hold on. Before you speak, for me, you see that Maguire one, that wasn't a foul. That's just good defending. It's just called strength. You see what I'm saying? The Eriksen one, if you check it, he dwells on the ball. He can't find an option. He takes long. Yeah. We pick his pocket. All right. Granted, he didn't actually poke the ball because if you check it, Eriksen kicks the ball. He actually, as he's falling, he's kicking the ball. I can see why it's interpreted as a foul, but it's not, for me, it's not a foul. It's not a foul. It's not a foul.
CM, you were going to say?
Nah, I get where he's coming.
That first goal changes the game.
I get where he's coming from, but the way I saw it, even through the replays and stuff like that, Odegaard comes from behind and kind of gets the front of him and doesn't get any of the ball.
All right, let's say the shoe was on the other foot. Let's say the shoe was on the other foot.
So, also,
if the shoe was on the other foot, would you say that's a foul?
Yeah, honestly, I would. Because you have to be honest. You have to be honest. You have to be, obviously, as fans. Yeah, you don't want to see certain things at times in the game, but honestly, in my opinion, whether it was against us, whether it was for us, that is a foul.
Okay.
CM, but the thing is this, right? Because he's back. All I'll say is this: he's got his back to the player, knowing full well that an Arsenal player is going to be on him. What do you think is going to happen? He's not going to knock on his shoulder and say, "Oh, by the way, I'm taking the ball." He's going to shove him, or he's going to apply some pressure on him. All I'm saying is we're setting a precedent here. That's all I'm saying. Regardless, because I understand both sides. I personally wouldn't give it as a foul because if you start calling that a foul, oh my God, Xhaka's gonna get red every week. That's just the way it is. But what I'm saying is,
officiate the
game. Thing is this: it didn't come down to VAR. It came down to the official. The official made the decision after VAR. All VAR does is say, "Listen, go to the screen. This is what I believe," and you've got to make the final decision. The ref makes the final decision, regardless of what we think.
I have not seen an official reject.
No, it's happened once. It happened once
this weekend.
Yeah, it's happened once.
This weekend.
It's happened once.
Yeah. It happened. Michael Oliver in the Nottingham.
But it's not like at that point the game was 0-0 still. So what's the other excuses?
It's not an excuse. I'm just saying the precedent we're setting here the precedent that we're setting as officials,
Listen,
that
hear
it's
what
gonna
I'm
have,
saying.
it's
Let
gonna
me just say
impact
something,
games.
yeah? Sorry to cut you, brother. Yeah,
No worries,
Chino,
bro. You
yeah?
go for it.
Listen, hear what I'm saying. Chino, yeah? Listen,
Yeah.
you got Crystal Palace away from home next weekend, yeah? They're going to tear your arsehole, yeah? Trust me. I'm just letting you know.
I hope so.
Nah, but
Yeah,
They are.
listen,
They're going to tear your arsehole.
nah,
It's
At home.
slapping.
At home.
It's slapping. It's slapping. It's
Go see.
slapping.
nah, you know what? To be fair,
Slap.
we could go all day and argue about these decisions. But what
Hold on,
Hanif
CM. Hold on.
and
Hold on.
Chino,
CM,
no,
let me
Chino,
show
Chino,
these
Chino,
man.
let him finish, please.
Hold on. Let me
Yes,
show these man what's going
no,
on.
Chino.
nah, yo,
Man,
Big up, Chino. Big up.
the slappings.
I've got to give CM his chance to speak because certain man weren't letting him talk yesterday.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Nah,
CM, go
nah,
ahead.
nah, man. Nah, at the end of the day, what Hanif and everybody here is talking about really is the true issue, which is the officiating. Of course, a lot of the factors of today's game, it was player errors, individual errors, and you know, errors of the manager, you could say possibly. But in the end of the day, when you play at an elite level, you want to expect that those officials that are working to officiate the game out of an elite level as well. And for a long time now in the Premier League, that hasn't been the case. And the crazy thing about it is VAR has exposed that even more to the point where there is more backlash than ever when it comes to referees. People asking for referees to do post-match conferences like what they do in the NBA when they do, I think it's called the 5-minute or something minute report, where you assess all of the possible decisions that could have been changed, and you say whether that's true or not. I don't know what kind of training you get to be an official in this country, but that training needs to be changed drastically. And I don't know what to say much about it really, because the use of VAR, that's another thing that needs to change if these referees are to have success, because I believe that at the start, this thing almost was a pride thing for referees, and referees were being protected to a certain extent. But the more they're protected is the worse they end up looking.
Facts. Before we move on to Chelsea and that decision, quick question for Arsenal. I kind of put this out during the stream. 2 questions, in fact. One, and funny enough, I said this and then he ended up scoring. Is Saka being found out in a sense? Because I'm not saying that he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't say he's having the impact we're used to. I hope that makes sense. That was the first question. Second question, does this defeat derail? Like, could it have a knock-on effect? Like, could you see you going on a bad run?
With the Saka thing,
I'll start T.
Yeah, so with the Saka thing, I think there's a little bit of, familiarity breeds contempt when you look at players in this sense. And because we have so much high expectations of Bukayo Saka and the responsibility he's taken on his shoulders to take Arsenal to where we're at now. I know it's not great, but he was a player of the season for the last 2 seasons. And because he's not at the level we know he can get to, I still think he's been very good for us. Even against Fulham, he was a major threat. He had that chance when he should have scored against Leno, and the same happened against Aston Villa as well. And today, I thought he had the better in Malacia throughout for the majority of the game. I think there's a few contributing factors. Benjamin White, although I think he's been very good, I don't think he suits what Saka wants to do. Saka gets double teamed, and Saka's always going to cut in on his inside left foot. So he needs a right back, which is where I think Tomiyasu's better, who's going to provide an overlapping threat and give you that energy. He's very good at that, Tomiyasu, and he can put a good ball into the box as well. So I think that's another factor in terms of Saka's game. And yeah, his finishing's not quite being at the level that we know he needs to be, but I still think he's one of our best players today, creating chances, causing problems. I saw a stat that Malacia never got a dribble pass, but I'm sure I saw in the opening minutes him literally run past Malacia. and this is where stats are crazy, and this is where you can't use stats, and stats they don't always tell a full story, so most of the time. But I think he will get there. He's still early on in the season. We saw Odegaard have a slow start at Crystal Palace and then pick it up a little bit. And then, he wasn't quite at the level today. And then he's receiving a whole ton of criticism. But then Gabriel Martinelli, who didn't have a great game, I'm not hearing no Arsenal fan talk about him because there's certain, we look at players in different ways. McTominay, brilliant today. But if he has if he even makes an error in the next game, people are going to jump on top of him. Fans and we look at players in different ways, I think, and different players too.
Cool. What's your thoughts on you can answer the second question actually. Do you feel like you may go on a dip of form or anything like you don't have any all right.
No, and let me answer the first question.
Yeah.
People are going on like you can't have dips in form. Yeah. Saka played well today. I think it's probably his best game of the season so far. Yes, he has been quiet, but he's held this team up for probably the last 2 seasons. Remember, he's been the player of Arsenal's player of the season for Arsenal for the last 2 seasons. So I feel like he might. I feel like yes, he's dipped. His form has dipped. But it's probably looked worse because we've upped our level so much and we are no longer solely dependent on Saka and Smith Rowe to get us out of problems. We've now got Jesus who's playing out of his skin. Odegaard's playing out of his skin. Martinelli, I didn't think he had a bad game today, but he's been taking more of the limelight, chipping in with more goals. Saka will come good. He will come good. He played a lot of games last season. He played a lot of games last season. So
every game in the Prem.
And Rich, by playing football, the top players, top players, the difference is the consistency, week in, week out, showing consistent levels, consistent high levels. But there's so many factors that go into being consistent. You see what I'm saying? Like how your body feels, how your mood is, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. So dips in form are allowed. Like class is permanent. So you will see. Like I think he had a good performance today. I think going forward he'll get back to his best. My only problem with Saka is that sometimes he can be a little bit flat-footed, especially in the final third. I just like to see him a little bit more on his toes. But I think for Arsenal, from what I saw today, it's a weird one because I think we played some brilliant football today. Like we played some really, really good football today. That second half, after we got the goal, I tell you what, Man United were in big trouble. They was in big, big trouble. So, but congratulations to Man United again. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think we'll be all right.
Cool. Let's move on to the debacle at Stamford Bridge. Hanif, you said that Mendy got fouled. Go on, talk us.
You didn't see that. You don't listen, Rich. You don't listen, and you're a teacher. No, look. It was not a foul. It was. When I watched it back, at first I was thinking about what am I looking at here, but then when I realized what they were looking at, and I just thought to myself, are we really going there? Are we really going there after Cornet comes on and just changes the game? And but Rich, if you watch the whole game, Antonio could have been sent off. He was putting players in headlocks, starting with Reece James. I thought this was about to. I was just like, friggin' hell, this is gonna kick off. And then Moisey took him off, but listen, they should have been awarded that goal because he was just running and he just caught him on the follow through. It is not a foul. But the thing is this, Mendy's got himself in a predicament, and I'm telling you, right, this is the second. Well, this is the first incident because this happened yesterday. Look what's happened, and look what's happened today. You can't be calling these fouls. We're setting the precedent here. Oh, these are fouls. Oh, because it happened Chelsea versus West Ham, and at the United Arsenal game. And I'm telling you, Rich, every game this weekend, there's been major controversies when it's come to officiating. And I'll be honest with you,
it's been bad.
But the thing is, Rich, it's been bad since last season. And the thing is this: remember a couple of weeks ago when Chelsea played
Tottenham?
Tottenham. And guess who was in the VAR box? It was Mike Dean.
Shock.
Now that tells you everything you need to know. I've always said, look, we need to be able to listen to the officials to find out what are they looking at, what are they saying to each other, because then we can understand what they're also looking at. Because when you listen to the Sky Sports commentators, they speak a lot of bubbles, man. They really do. I'd rather not listen to them and listen to the officials. And also, I want to be able to see what the VAR official is looking at. Okay, what's he looking at? Instead of what the VAR official is doing and how are they doing it, because we need to have that understanding of the game now. It's going too far, because this is going to cost teams massive. Like, look, it was the opening goal today for the United Arsenal game, and the hair pull on Cucurella, which Mike Dean came out and said he got it wrong. This is the thing, he came out after, but the thing is this: you can't come out after when quite clearly you can see it's a hair pull. So I'll be honest with you, West Ham should have got a point in my opinion. But listen, the decisions go for you and they go against you. So that's football.
Yeah, and to be fair, this is a good point. I think a lot of fans would want this to happen, like to mic the refs up, because not only are they making mistakes, and I can openly hands up and say that we benefited from one yesterday. It was, for me personally, the Newcastle goal should have stood, because Mitchell's pushed Willock into Gaeta. Yeah. But then there's never really an explanation when something happens. Another issue I'm starting to have with the officiating, especially with VAR, is that their offside lines are never the same. Mm-mm. You've got one that's going like a diagonal, another one the line's thicker than another. Like, one they decide to do it from the toes, another one they want to do it from the sleeve. Like, it's a complete mess.
You can address that, Rich, though. You can address that one. That one can be addressed. Yeah. What you do is quite simple. You do it. It's what happens in cricket. If it's by fine margins, just go with the on-field decision. And what the referee should do is just let it play out. Let it play out. If it's a goal, and if it's like really tight, it's a goal. Or if it's not a goal and the ref's given it as not a goal or called it offside, go with the referee's decision. This isn't some of the stuff that these guys, some of the mess that they're creating. It's not difficult. It's already happening in other sports that we need to take advantage of. In terms of the officials, look, I've always said the VAR officials have to be different to the officials that be there on a weekend, because Mike Dean has proven, this is a former Premier League referee who's retired. He's now in the VAR box, and he's made a stinker. And there's been I don't know who the VAR official was today at Stockley Park, but in my opinion, he got that wrong. And the thing is this, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if you noticed, I don't know which game it was this weekend, there's an Aussie referee in the Premier League now. And that's what needs to happen. We need to...
He's poor though, isn't he? Jared Gillett.
No. He probably had a bad game, but he's probably one of the best.
He's had a few.
He's probably one of the best. I don't think he's that bad. I think he's not that.
Don't you think that officials that make mistakes, should get fined or suspended?
No, not suspended. I think ultimately, right, look.
What if it's a really bad one? What about like the West Ham one, which was ridiculous?
Oh, that's the worst one, that is.
See, that should be like a week in the championship.
No, Rich. No, not a week in the championship. That's not really doing much to him, to be fair. But
he wants the referees to go to the under 23.
Yeah, I think ultimately you need to. ask yourselves. I don't think you can fine them because they made a mistake. It happens, innit? Footballers make mistakes all the time when they can't pass properly, when they can't shoot. We've sat here many times saying, why didn't my man score from 5 yards? You can't find these man. But what I would say is this. I think what needs to happen is they need a bigger pool of referees. They really do. And that bigger pool needs to include, you need to go and get some of the top refs from Europe. Not Spain, though. Don't go. Listen, if you think the refereeing body is bad here, watch La Liga. I'm telling
French.
you,
There's bad refereeing all around.
there's bad referees all around.
I saw in the PSG game a red card for like something ridiculous. Like there's bad. Like it's not just in this country though. It's not. There is bad refereeing across the world.
I don't think there's a large pool of referees because of the way that they get treated. Because the way they get treated, nobody doesn't really want to be a referee, to be honest. So if they're going to take referees from other countries, they need to pay more money as well. They probably, and it will never happen. It will never happen.
You have to remember, Cloudenberg went to Saudi a few years ago.
Cloudenberg wasn't a great ref.
No, but he was probably the best that we had for a number of years, and he went to Saudi because he realized that, you know what, these guys ain't worth it, and plus I'm getting triple my salary. I think when you read the rules of the game and then you watch a football game, you soon realize that, you know what, you have to allow certain flexibilities within the laws of the game. You have to allow pressure. You have to allow certain fouls and things like that. In most cases, they get it right. It's just, unfortunately, VAR has exposed referees now. They've exposed the assistant referees. They've also exposed the media companies because, you know, they never put the camera on the assistant referee's shoulder to show the viewers how hard the line is to call from the side at the top. It's crazy hard, the speed at which they play at. If only I could explain to you, like I do semi-pro and something, you know, when I've got fast brothers on the pitch, I'm like, whoa, calm down.
To be fair, I'm sure most of us have tried to do linesmen for Sunday League, and sometimes it gets a bit difficult. So I think we can relate.
I don't think there's any quick fix, but ultimately they're making a lot of mistakes, and you need to call Kalina. You need to call my dad.
Listen, we're gonna go around and just have a quick chat about Thomas Tuchel. Before, and welcome Manny, by the way, before we go and talk about Liverpool, because Mo Salah, boy. Anyway, he's getting on my nerves.
I'm sorry.
Tuchel, it's not looking very good, is it? That says it all.
No. Yeah. Listen. Look, it didn't look good against Leeds. It didn't look good against Southampton. It very nearly didn't look good against West Ham. But you know what? VAR came to the rescue. And one player who is symptomatic of the drop in standards has got to be Edouard Mendy. How do you go from winning the African Nations Cup with Senegal, winning the Champions League with Chelsea, to being on the short list for the Goalkeeper of the Year award, only to see that go to Gianluigi Donnarumma in what I believe was a very controversial decision? How do you go from...
It's the Pogba judge.
What? I guess so. So how do you go from that level to having an awful game against Arsenal in pre-season and then making a few more mistakes, including a horrible one against Leeds, and also, you know, looking as if he was flapping everywhere against West Ham? I think he's symptomatic of how things have dropped. But as for Tuchel, one of the things which separates managers like Tuchel and Klopp and Conte and a few others from Arteta, and Said's joined the show now, King's Football Show. We're obviously going to talk about the Arsenal game later on, is that they will see some mistakes and they will work hard to rectify it. I was surprised that they didn't start Zakaria in that game against West Ham, because I thought that he should have been... he was brought obviously as a midfielder with the injury to Kante and so forth.
His work permit had issues. They hadn't received his work permit. So
okay, so hopefully that'll be resolved soon, and we'll see him in the Premiership. But you know, once again, at least they're working hard to try to solve their problems, and that's why they should end up being there or thereabouts come the end of the season. And Chelsea, given the respect that they've shown him, there's no way that they can sack him with the Champions League not having even started yet. And that's normally where Chelsea will be at their best. So it might not be looking too good now, but it could have been even worse had it not been for VAR. So I think he will definitely have a chance to put things right. And when the Champions League starts, obviously, I'm pretty certain that, you know, that's when everything's going to settle. He'll have a settled squad, and he'll pick from that squad, and those players are going to help him.
Cool. Last one before we move on to Liverpool. Big up King, though. Welcome. We have a theory within the Palace fan base that Eze may end up taking Conor Gallagher's World Cup spot.
Ooh. Why is that?
Just he's not having a good time at Chelsea. He is. he's really struggling. I mean, it may not be Eze, but I'm just saying he's left the door open for his place to be taken.
It depends what waistcoat wants, doesn't it?
I don't think that will happen. I don't think Gareth's like that, because if that's the case, then that means Maguire's not going to the World Cup and Maguire's going to the World Cup. It's exactly the same thing. I don't feel like Gareth's. I don't know.
I don't think it's the same thing though, Rich. For me, Maguire's been in that team for years, and Southgate can trust him.
Yeah,
Gallagher's just joined, and he's not even in the starting 11.
But can you trust Maguire though? Can you trust Maguire?
No, but what I'm saying is these two different situations. I don't feel like you can compare them. One is a senior player who's been there for years, who's played multiple tournaments. Gallagher's not even played one tournament. He's new. I think he's played 2 or 3 games for England. That's why I'm saying it's not the same situation. It's easy to drop Gallagher because he's young and he's not played himself into the starting 11 yet. But when it comes to Maguire, regardless of what we fans think of him, he's not failed Southgate yet. Yeah, he's played well for England, and he's taken them to a semi-final and a final. And in that system that Southgate plays, it suits Maguire. Low block, back three. He doesn't have to concentrate on people running his behind. He can do what he's best at. So for me, it's not the same situation. But I do think that Gallagher might get dropped because there's so many attacking mids for England who can take his spot.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think he should have somehow tried to force Tuchel's hand to get at least another loan, at the very least. Because
he's getting game time though, Rich. That's the thing. He's getting game time. He's just not playing well.
But not in his favoured position either.
Yeah, but ultimately that's the decision he made by staying there. I knew this was gonna happen. So he needs to force a move out in January.
That's what I was saying.
Because once Zakaria comes in, we're gonna see. But I'll be honest with you, the thing is this: not a lot of people are talking about Mason Mount. Mason Mount's been awful.
I've never rated him.
I'm not even honestly, Rich. It's just been a bad start to the season, and he's been awful. I know Tuchel's been playing him in a variety of positions, but and he was dropped yesterday, and off the bench he looked really good.
By his boy Mount.
Nah, he's Tuchel that takes a lot of the blame for me because he's putting players in the wrong positions. It's like it's like when I saw Arsene Wenger put Ramsey and Ozil on the wings. Like, you're not getting the best out of these players in those areas. It's just like you're trying to force players in for the reason why, and that's what I've seen with Thomas Tuchel.
Sorry. He's here.
Winning we do. That is why we're here.
What's wrong with you? This is what you United fans get up to, you know.
Look at Alt. Look at Alt.
Bro, you should.
All right, let's see if you're this smug when we play the return game at the Emirates. We'll see what happens then. Yeah.
Tell him again, Manny. Tell him again.
They win one game, and they behave like they won the league. Is this the mighty United or?
Look at Alt, man. Look at Alt. He's like,
is the season over? Have they won the league?
Not impressed.
Let me just a few more comments. Big up Munzie saying Tariq doesn't look happy. Big up now. It's been a while. I hope you're well, my guy. Oh my days. This is a shout, you know. I think they need to do all they can to get this guy in.
He won't want the job, though. That's the problem. He won't want it.
Hey, I'm with that, you know. Potter for England, yes.
David Lee saying the time is now. Obviously, that's Manchester Kushner's logo. Where's Raylis when you need him? I can't pronounce your name.
If it doesn't work out with Arteta,
Man
I
in
would
the
take
kitchen.
Potter.
Ooh. Arsenal fans talking about celebrating. Stop it.
Heard the word celebrating.
He's gonna go. He's gonna go. What's he doing? I think Oates is calling the police, man. That's what Oates is doing. He's like, nah, let's get this guy, man.
Man, let's move on to Liverpool. What's going wrong? CM.
I don't know. They just, from what I've seen in their games, they've lacked a lot of intensity in the way they play. They usually play. Just that's it. It seems like they're getting beat in areas that they haven't been before in the midfield, especially. Obviously, they're missing Thiago. They've brought in Arthur, who they'll be hoping will play a role for them. But I don't know. A lot of people are alluding to the aging midfield, the likes of Henderson, Milner, who haven't been great to start the season. Maybe chance creation and finishing. They've had a little bit of trouble there. They're gonna bring back it. They brought back in Darwin Núñez in the derby, and he didn't have his best game either. I don't know. I don't know what's going on for Liverpool right now, to be fair. But the biggest thing for me is the fact that they are lacking control in a lot of their games, especially that Merseyside derby. Everton, obviously at home, the crowd was there. There's a lot of motivation to perform, but Everton really had their moments, and if they were clinical, could have given Liverpool a lot more trouble than they got away with.
I think my pump tax is finished.
I think the big issue with Liverpool is like what Essex Eagles saying here, they're missing Mane. I don't actually think it's that. I think a lot of it is mainly with the midfield issues in how they progress the ball. They don't get it anywhere near enough to the attackers and at the same speed that they did. That's what Liverpool was so good at, even without, Thiago, when they had the Wijnaldum, Henderson, Fabinho. They just moved the ball up so quickly up to the attackers. It gives you no chance to react. And they're taking it feels like they're trying to be a lot more possession dominant. It's like what I saw against Man United. They can't keep the ball moving forward. Man United were able to get players back behind the ball before Diaz and Salah could even get going. And I see a lot of that now. And I don't think Salah, Diaz, those types of players, or Núñez are going to break down a low block. They're not that. And that's where Crystal Palace got their joy. When they started against Crystal Palace, because Rich will be able to echo this, they started with a mad intensity, with swinging balls early into the box, creating chances. But as soon as Palace were able to get in their rhythm, Palace should have won that game in the end if Zaha could put the ball in the back of the net in that game. But yeah, man, their midfield is so important for these top sides, and they're missing a lot of their creativity and ball progression.
Do we feel like Liverpool have come to the end of their cycle? Maybe
potentially, because their midfielders are injury prone and aging. So I can't see them playing the same amount of games as they did last.
Yeah. Also, the problem is a lot of Liverpool fans, and I don't know where this comes from. I know this Jude Bellingham lad is supposed to be a really good player, but they're holding out for him next year. A lot of Liverpool fans think that Jude Bellingham is coming to Liverpool and he's just going to come in and just change their midfield and make it this amazing midfield where it's more than one player. They've unfortunately, if you look at Liverpool's midfielders or the midfielders that Klopp signed, Navigator injury prone, Thiago injury prone. Vibes is on one. He needs to. He's never replaced Lallana. He's never replaced Wijnaldum. So if you're not going to replace these like core players of yours, and you're not going to bring anyone in until you've sold a really good player, then they're going to struggle. And I think Liverpool need to be very careful. And they did buy someone. I don't know who they bought, but then they might need to go buy someone again in January. Yeah, so I just think the Liverpool fan base, they can't be happy with their owners not spending enough money, on their midfield, because it's going to be a tough season for them.
Fair enough. Let's talk about their backline, because that's
I
another issue. They're not as assured as they used to be.
Without Matip. That guy's a player. Van
I
Dijk's
thought
been suspect.
Gomez was good against Everton though. I thought he was one
I
of their
feel
best players.
the problem with when we talk about defense is that we put a lot of concentration on the defenders, but you defend as a team. And I felt like Mane was excellent in defending. Ronaldo was excellent in defense. Henderson, when he has had his legs, was excellent in this defense. I felt like Klopp have failed to replace this. Like as good as Diaz is, he's not as effective at defending as Mane was. Like
Mm.
Harvey Elliott is a good talent, but he's no Genie Wijnaldum in defense. Like and Milner, he's too old. So it's like it's a combination of a lot of things that made Liverpool so fragile. I felt like times have actually catch up with them now, and this is why they're struggling because they are a team who thrives in energy, intensity, and they don't have those kind of players anymore.
Yeah.
I feel
Now
like
they're gonna come.
Liverpool trick with not selling Salah, you know, as well as Mane. Their business model is very heavily based on assets and making the most out of, you know, the players that they have. They got the same business model as Arsenal. You buy low, you sell high. So if you actually look at their business outside of Nunez, they haven't really done a lot, have they? And I think they're going to suffer because of it. Their midfield.
Mendy. I got something.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that their midfield, their backline as well. Trent's looking awful. Their backline is aging. Their midfield is thinner than Arsenal's. So, and they haven't really invested. And if you look across their team, Fabinho, Salah's getting on a bit. Van Dijk, I don't know how old their goalkeeper is, but I don't think that really matters. Milner, Henderson, these guys need to be replaced, and replacing them with people like Harvey Elliott, the other guy,
Carvalho.
the Portuguese guy, I can't remember his name. Good players, but they're still very young. This is the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? It's not Championship. It's the Premier League. These guys need to be bedded in slowly. So I think it's going to be a long season for Liverpool. I really do.
Manny, Virgil van Dijk. Now, obviously, Twitter, you get vast opinions and stuff. Should he have been sent off yesterday?
For the I don't quite remember the
He had a challenge
infringement.
on Nana.
Yeah, it was a very serious challenge which merited a booking, but probably not so dangerous as to merit a sending off. I don't like. Had he been the last man, then there would have been a case for sending off. Yes, but Onana was also committing. Yeah, Onana was committing quite a few fouls as well. And another thing, like we're talking a little bit about the back line, and we still agree that TAA is not really good as a right back. There should be a school of thought. If you like him so much because of his attacking ability and his ability to whip a good cross in, why use him as a right back when he can't even defend? Why not instead have him sort of in the midfield to freshen it up, put Gomez at right back, and then bring another defender in? That might freshen things up a bit.
Because he's not good enough to play in midfield. That's the problem. But before he's had Henderson and Milner cover for him when he runs forward. He doesn't have that cover anymore. And this is why I said that Klopp has failed in that he hasn't identified that. And that's like Trent plays the same way he's been playing for several years. And it's not that he's been found out. The problem is that he doesn't have cover anymore. He doesn't have anyone who's helping him. And the structure is not there. And obviously Salah is getting older, so he's not gonna track back anymore. He's gonna save his energy for the attack. So I think that's the problem, and we see the same with Robertson. A lot of people are talking about Trent, but Robertson been awful as well this season. And again, he doesn't have anyone who's covering for him, and that's why it's so wide open on the flanks when you play against Liverpool.
Completely agree. I think you see some players who are aging, you've got to replace them. But back to your question on Van Dijk, Rich, I think it didn't really look to me that bad a challenge to warrant a sending off, but he has definitely not been at his best this season. And I think, in January, if Klopp is serious about maintaining Liverpool's place among the top four, he is going to have to spend a little bit more and replace a lot of those old players. I've been thinking that Milner had to be phased out. You can't expect him to sign a new deal and think that you can just play him frequently. You've got to buy some more players. Milner's getting on. Henderson might be losing his legs. It baffles me how a manager so intelligent and astute as Klopp could have been so blind to what's been going on with the team. And with the aging of the team, you've got to get some new people in and make sure that the older ones are also on form. But clearly, Henderson and Milner declining. No one lasts forever. No one's Peter Pan. So that's a real failing on Klopp's part.
Do you think he's possibly covering up for it? For the situation in terms of the recruitment with the board and the ownership, because obviously in the past they have had issues with FSG and so forth. Do you think it could be that?
I think so. I think he's trying to make a statement, but that statement's going to only go too far. It's only going to go too far. What are you saying, Brush?
Yo, what's happening, man? Just thought I'd jump in.
That's cool, because we're going to do 3 quick things before we wrap up anyway. So we're each going to say performance of the weekend. Then we'll say like best individual, and like we'll say donkey of the week and all something. I don't know. I'll find a name for it and such. So we'll start with you, Brush, as you just jumped in. Performance of the weekend for you?
What, individual performance, or are we talking club performance?
Like as in result.
Result-wise?
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't caught the highlights of today, but I know Leicester held 5. So I'm going to have to run that back. Individual performance has to be Ivan Toney for me. Ivan Toney's a bad man.
Cool. What's result of the weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. Do you know what? I'm gonna say Brentford. Yeah, Brentford.
Manny?
Result of the week: Bournemouth coming back from 2 goals down to win at the City Ground. Magnificent. Just goes to show that you never know what you can do after a 9-0 thrashing until you've got so many knives pointed at you and your manager's sacked, your team is shell-shocked. They've recovered really well. I still think they'll go down, but on the evidence of today, they definitely do look as though they have a bit of fight in them, and maybe if they can bring a few more strikers in, 1 or 2 more strikers in, they'll be good. But I think they've responded really well. Individual performance, well, you really can't look beyond Toney, can you? Proper striker. Almost a classic hat-trick. I think one of his goals was a screamer. I think he also had a penalty. So, yeah, I mean, that guy's quality. Absolute quality.
Cool. King?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it has to be Man United. They were going up against the leaders and they won 3-1. So they had the hardest game of the week and they won. And because everybody said Tony, I'm gonna say McAllister. I think he's a quality centre mid. A lot of people are sleeping on him. He's an Argentinian international and he was so good today.
Cool. So, Oates, we'll come back to you because I didn't get your individual performance. Like, who do you think, Sean?
Gabriel Jesus.
Listen,
Hanif.
block
This
people.
guy,
If I can block people, I'll block him now.
Yeah, what's up? Yo.
And I'm serious as well, yeah. I know we lost, yeah, but that guy, yeah, honestly. Listen, just make this short and sweet. Gabriel Jesus, the way he brings the ball out of the air, yeah. He had a good game today.
Yo, has your friend been on?
If I'm being serious, if I'm really being serious, it has to be Ivan Toney.
Oh, because I missed the earlier part of the show. Has your friend been on? Has he been on here?
No. Do you know what? I'm waiting. I've got a surprise for him at the end. Yeah, I'm waiting.
No, it's watershed settings.
It might be past his bedtime still.
Yeah, man. I had a few too many. Let's just say complaints about how young people have been getting bullied on this channel. So
big him up though.
Yeah, I mean, he was sending for you in the comments, to be fair. So
yeah, but big him up though. Still, he's a young boy, so big him up. You'll see this tomorrow when he gets ready for school.
Hanif.
Yeah. for me, I think Aston Villa yesterday against Man City getting a draw. I thought that was exceptional. Player? Listen, the lad at Brighton. I've been saying it for the past couple of seasons. I think a lot of people are just not watching him. Trossard, he is a player. I'm telling you right now, that guy should not be at Brighton. He should be at a top. I think he should be at he could make a top 6 club, especially Chelsea or Arsenal, in my opinion. So yeah. I don't know did you have another question, Rich, apart from them two?
No, I'm gonna go for like worst performer afterwards.
All right, cool.
Be at the end. See?
Yeah, I mean, Brighton played some really good football today. Really impressed with them and the way they were able to almost bounce back and just finish the game altogether, even when Leicester got their goals back. And like the other guys have said, Ivan Toney, proper performance this weekend. Some brilliant goals, a free kick, the pick of the bunch.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna go with Bournemouth. Never expecting that, to be fair. And also, yeah, I'll say Ivan Toney as well, to be fair to him. Like, great. Like, he's going to get his move next summer, I reckon. You know, I think he would definitely have earned it.
Sorry, can I just say something, yeah? Ivan Toney, did anybody see his interview with Flex from United Standoff View, whatever it's called?
Was
it me, or was he flirting with the idea of kind of going, like, the idea of United? Yeah.
He definitely wants out of Brentford.
But I feel like...
Yeah, he's desperate to leave Brentford. He's even slated them live.
Listen, that's the only thing that lets the guy down, man. He's mad unprofessional.
Yeah, that's the problem. No big team wants a character like that. It's a bit too honest, you know.
I wouldn't be surprised if you saw him at Man United. Maybe even in
bro, there was a clip, right, where someone asked him, who do you play for? And he just said, nowhere special.
He's asking for trouble.
He really is. But as a striker, as a goal scorer, yeah, he's quality. Right, let's finish off with the donkey. Whether it's a team, individual, it could be anything. I'll start off, and I'm going to say Leicester City. I don't know what is going on with that club at the moment.
But it's not nice, Rich.
It is. Yeah. I don't know what's going on over there, but it's not nice.
It's not nice, is it?
You know, funny enough, when I was doing the Newcastle match reaction before this, I guarantee it. We've got the middle of October. They'll probably get a new manager bounce, and they'll beat us. We always get that. We always get the new manager in, like, all the time. So that's a bit annoying. But yeah, I'm going Leicester City. See,
man, I allow the officials to hold this donkey, man.
Okay.
I think the lack of consistency when it comes to understanding what decisions are fouls and what decisions are not fouls, all of that stuff there, it needs to change very soon, because wherever it be the transparency with the fans when there are VAR checks, the frustration that builds at grounds. Like, I've watched a few games over the weekend, and every time you go from a moment of jubilation to straight frustration, and that's not good for the fans. It's not good for the game at all, and it just needs to iron out, because it has been a few years now, and it seems like the development of the technology as a whole in this country isn't going anywhere.
Fair dues. Hanif?
Thomas Tuchel. Absolutely Thomas Tuchel. And I'll tell you why. First 40 minutes of the Chelsea game, after 40 minutes, I fell asleep. It was that bad. It was awful football.
But Hanif, weren't you asleep all the last season too?
I should have been. I wish I was, Rich. I watched a lot of those games, but
that was brush.
I mean brush.
See, this is what happens when you're number one bully, Rich. They just assume it's you, innit?
Let's just hope it's that and nothing else.
But no, it's Thomas Tuchel, because when you're listen, look, I can understand when you're away from home, you don't have the advantage, but when you're at home and you can't play good football, we're not exactly playing like Man City or Liverpool. I expect us to turn up, and we're only going to see 4 or 5 performances this year where Chelsea play good football at home, and I was expecting a performance. I just think the way he sets us up and the way we play, it's not good on the eye, and we don't create enough chances to score. The only good thing he did was when he made the sub after we conceded the goal. Apart from that, it was shocking first half, and a lot of Chelsea fans were just happy with the result. And I'm just like, we're at home, and we should have drawn the game. That's it. For me.
What a comment! No. Big up Nippon as well.
Good to see you again, Martin. You've kind of gone ghost since you lost to us, but good draw yesterday, by the way. King,
you just had to get that in there, didn't you?
I've got to take any win possible because we're not playing too well at the moment.
No, honestly,
and I tell you what, Aston Villa got robbed as well. That Coutinho goal. Oh,
yeah.
I have to echo what CM said. The referees are disgraced. They are they have ruined the joy of football. Like, they can't make anything right. Like, we no longer know what is offside, what is not offside, what is a foul, what is not a foul, what is a situation where the referee or the VAR team deems as, what's the rule that they say that for them to overturn it, it has to be in clear and obvious wrongdoing. What is even that? Like, I don't understand the rules anymore, and they don't seem to understand the rules. Yeah. The chat is moving mad.
Wait, you ever said I look like Troops 2.0? Yeah, I'll actually fight you, bro.
Listen, let's get it right. Let's get it right.
Rich told them I'll actually fight you, bro.
Troops looks like Oaks. Let's get it right.
No, Oris.
You're funny. That was a good one. Well done.
No, big up the chat.
Sorry, King was. So did you finish up saying?
Now, honestly, like, for me, the referees, like, it's not even about Arsenal or any team. Every team is suffering from it because it is having a negative impact on the game that we all love and value so much. So for me, it's the ref, the VAR, they're all a disgrace and they should all get sacked. They are the valid of the week.
Danny.
My donkey of the week, or Wallad. Since when did we all turn into troops now? Mikel Arteta. And I don't know if Kim Sate will agree with me, but for this big game of the season, he took chances on players who didn't seem to be fit, and it backfired horribly. And when we equalized, he failed to manage the game at all well. And this was the game where his inadequacies as a manager, most of them at least, came to the fore. He had his chance to prove that he was worthy of, being of the credit that he was being given for Arsenal being top of the league. He mucked it up. Easily my donkey of the week.
Oops.
My donkey of the week is Hamza.
Cheap shot.
Thanks.
Oh, I'm here for it.
Go on the brush.
Yeah, no, I got to echo the sentiments that King and CM shared, man. At this level, like, we need to improve. And it seems to be only in England where we have these problems. Like, they're using VAR fine elsewhere in Europe.
No, brush. La Liga, honestly, La Liga, the refereeing is bad. I'm not joking. If you watch La Liga, it's worse.
Are they making the same kind of calamities over here though? Like this weekend here, this is a madness, man.
It's in La Liga, right? You could be sent off for like stupid stuff. It's mad. They don't even look at VAR. They just like, right, red, boom. It's mad.
No, this chat, yeah. you need to sort out some mods. Donatello, you know.
He's probably in a bad mood. Wrong. Where did Rush go?
No, he was not having it.
Oh, you got nippened?
Back again.
No, I was just trying to hit the chat window and I hit leave by accident. I was trying to take a closer look at the comments.
Fair enough. No, you're saying about the refs.
Yeah, no, I think I finished up on it. I think Hanif was telling me something about the Liga.
Oh yeah, you're saying it's bad over there.
Mm.
All right, let's wrap it up there, man. It's back to school settings tomorrow. 6 weeks holiday done. Oh, good times, guys. You know, it's obviously smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and subs. Congratulations to obviously Man United today, and all teams that won. Big up to the Arsenal contingent, who very humble, even though they're in defeat, and I'm sure they will obviously pick themselves up again. And so as per usual, we'll do the rounds. Rush, where can they find you?
You can find me right here, man. I'll be in the comments and that and on stream.
No doubt. King.
You'll probably see me hiding this week. I don't know how I'm gonna watch any more content. No, but joke aside, you can find me on King's Football Show. You can find me on other social media platform with the same name. Thanks for having me on.
No doubt. Manny.
First of all, Rich, thanks for having me on. I've always wanted to come on your show and have a bit of a chin wag. It means a lot to me that you had me on, so thanks a lot again. You can catch me on Instagram at MannyThangatherai1981. That's my full name and my year of birth. You can also catch me on Twitter at Thangatherai1981, taking the mickey out of a few Arteta inners and having some friendly discussions about football and some other stuff, mainly politics, whatever. And on a few YouTube channels, Delboy Gunner TV, S. Featley TV, a few appearances on King's Football Show as well, Oris Talks Football, Hanno's Coach Corner, and I just go wherever I'm made to feel welcome, say what I want to say, let the chips fall where they may. And that's
Don't talk about chips no more. No. I don't need no PTSD, please.
Okay. My bad. All right, let the crisps fall where they may.
Thank you.
Let the crisps fall where they may. And just a small shout out. This month, September, is Suicide Prevention Month, so please reach out to any of your friends or loved ones who you think may not be doing too well. Let's uplift one another. Let's not let anyone feel that suicide is the only option. Thank you all. And have yourself
I wish I came to you last now. That was a proper.
That would have been a perfect ending, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might just sod the rest of you, just end on that. No, thank you for obviously raising that, Manny. Really appreciate it.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Also, I know you can't really be found, but you want to start your business?
You can't find me nowhere.
Right, cool.
what you can do for the best in kids entertainment, go to www.happynerfday. That's happynerfday.com and book and send me your money, and we'll give your young child from the years 5 up to 14, even adults, will come play Nerf games, whatever, on the weekends. That's what we do. Outside of that, you'll see me here, coming here, catching some joke, talking some shit, and giving Hamza some licks.
Pause. Hanif.
Oh, sorry, I'm playing darts as well as talking to you.
So random.
That's a good one.
Yeah, big up everyone. You can catch me on Eagle Eye Football, Munzi Talks, and whoever else wants me. I even made my debut on KG's channel the other day, which was pretty nice of him.
That was actually funny.
Yeah. So I got the prediction right as well. I told him 3-1, and he didn't believe me. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram as well. But yeah, that's where I am most of the time.
No, big up Hanif, and Fed for obviously coming on again. Now listen, the main man. Listen, you know what? This guy. when I'm talking about work rate, this young man, he's just finished up uni. Your results was it come? No, your graduation is December, innit?
Yeah.
And stuff. So he's done up uni. He's graduating in December. He's out there on Twitch and obviously YouTube as well. The work rate's
Multi-talented, may we add.
mad talent. The intro music for not for Get Amped, but for the Palace content, the rap was done by CM. You know, honestly, bro, like I've got to give you the platform to say, listen, keep striving, man. Keep it up.
Thank you very
Do
much.
you actually have a twin, or is that you?
You'll have to tune into the show to find out. Oates.
I did. And I was like,
Three of them, bro. There's three of them. I've seen three of them.
I did, and I was like, is that his twin or is that him? Like, no, but I can see the work rate. Big yourself up, bro.
Thank you very much, man. And big up to everyone on the panel, everybody in the chat. You can find me at CM22ENT on Twitch, YouTube, all social, and also all around the place, man. Eagle-eyed football, pros only sports, Tariq talks, wherever it is, football chatter. I'm here to support the peoples, then, man. So make sure you drop a like and subscribe on this one, people.
And the latest to the family as well. Don't forget UFTV.
Yes.
With the big man Fabs himself.
Yeah, he set up his new channel, so type in UFTV, you should find it.
CM's getting on mad humble, boy, but when he puts down, this is gonna be gassed.
Nah, what's your prick for that? Oh man. No, to be fair, he is probably one of the most humble people I've met. You know. And when's your next Jetpan FC stream?
Probably Wednesday, I'm seeing.
Cool. Right, I'm off. I've got to deal with kids who work from a pro in the morning. Guys, like, share, subscribe. We out.